This is a Shields of Shame exclusive.
Okay, today's date is Friday, May the 14th, 2021. The time now is 4:07 p.m. The Director Fred Mason, the GBI Office of Professional Standards. Present in the room is GBI Human Resource Director Chandrina Hudson-Hewley, and we're talking with Special Agent Megan Hirsch. She is currently in the GBI Basic Agent School in Forsyth, and she's assigned to the West Metro Drug Task Force. Megan, how long have you worked for GBI?
Since September of 2020.
Okay. So you came on September 2020. You went through mandate school?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you go through mandate school?
At Jefferson Forsyth.
Okay. And you graduated there, and you went to West Metro?
In December, that's correct.
Who's the supervisor out there?
Dan Sons.
Okay. And then you went to GBI. You are currently in the GBI Basic School now?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Megan, I have a copy of a statement, memorandum that you sent to the training unit on May the 13th, yesterday, 2021. It's an incident that happened on the evening of May the 12th, 2021. So I'm just going to let you tell me what happened. And your statement here, it's not clear who was driving and that type of stuff. So I want you to tell me. I know all y'all went to a Mexican restaurant and y'all went to another bar later on. But I want you to tell me who was driving, what vehicle. I think everybody has government vehicles.
Okay.
Who was driving and who was riding with each other, okay? All right, and we're going to go all the way up till you wrote this statement, okay?
That was Wednesday night after class. If he was decided to get Mexican, I sent a text. We have it's called Group B, which is the whole group in BAC. It has the text message where we talk to each other. And I said Mexican at the usual spot after class. So everyone was invited. We left campus. There's 4 of us in one vehicle. I'm not sure who rode with who and the other people. In my vehicle, it was Justin Jones driving, Q Rooks in the front passenger. I was in the driver's back, and then Stephen Pendergrass was in the passenger back. We went to the Mexican restaurant. We met Eric White there. He's from Region 1. And then Brandon Crocker, he showed up a little bit late because he had to go to the doctor to get a shot in his back. And then, one more person. I was sitting here, Jason Cole to my left. He was sitting to my left. And I believe he drove by himself to the restaurant. So I think Jason drove by himself, Eric drove by himself, and then Crocker rode by himself, because the other 4 of us were in one vehicle. We're at the restaurant, and then after, do I need to say what we're doing at the restaurant?
Yeah, I need to know who was drinking, and I think you even talked about what you drank or whatever.
Everyone was drinking besides Justin Jones. He doesn't drink at all. At dinner, I ordered a jalapeno margarita, and I know Jason Cole was drinking Jack and Diet, and Rooks was drinking, I think, a margarita, and then everyone else was drinking beer.
Okay, this is going to be important here. Okay, so you said Eric White drove by himself?
I believe so.
Okay, and
Jason
Cole drove by himself?
Brandon Crocker drove by himself. He arrived a little bit later, and then the remaining 4 of us were in the truck that Justin Jones drove.
Okay. So everybody was driving government vehicles?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Jones.
And so Eric, Jason, and Brandon was all drinking, but Justin didn't drink?
Correct.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
We ordered dinner. Jason and Q Rooks were taking shots of Jack. They had quite a few, either 3 or 4. Jason made a comment. I know he was just joking. He's like, "Don't be a pussy, take a shot." And I'm like, I'm not good at it. I suck at taking shots. I don't have any shots. I ordered a different drink because my margarita wasn't good and it was very strong. And even our waitress, she's like, "Oh, I made it strong." I'm like, "I know you did. It doesn't taste good." And then I ordered a Jack and Diet. And then we got our checks. I'm thinking around 6:15, 6:30 is when we left the restaurant. And then we all went to the brewery in Forsyth. Fox's, I believe, Fox's, the brewery in downtown Forsyth. I rode with Jason Cole to the brewery. Then Brandon Crocker did not go. Eric drove his own vehicle. I'm not sure if someone else rode with Eric. I don't know the whole seating arrangement in the cars. I know that I drove with Jason Cole. We get to the brewery. We were going to meet some classmates because they were going there, but when we were walking into the brewery, they were walking out. So we just chatted for like 2 minutes. Then the people who were at Mexican, we all went inside the brewery. And we went to the back table, where we always sit, which is the back of the restaurant, like where the bar area is, like where they store the beer, because they brew beer there. At that point, my coworker Adam Blaine, who works at West Metro, he works for LaGrange PD, he's attached to West Metro. He's been at GPSTC the past 2 weeks because he's going through firearms instructor training. I didn't know he was going there. I was just like, "Hey, how's it going?" And we talked for a few minutes. He had 2 other men with him at his table who worked for LaGrange. We all sat down at a larger table, just chatting. I do need to amend something. I had 3 Jack and Diets because I found a receipt in my wallet. I think in the memo I said I had 2.
Okay. Where is that? At the brewery or at the Mexican restaurant?
At the brewery.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just chatting. I don't know what time. I had ended up calling my boyfriend Hunter, and Q was sitting next to me. Jason was sitting on my right side, and then Justin was sitting. So if I'm here, Q is sitting on my left side. Jason's sitting on my right side. Justin Jones is sitting across from Rooks. Across from me is Stephen, and across from Jason Cole is Eric White, I believe.
Stephen Pendergrass?
Yes.
Okay. So he was at the Mexican restaurant too, right?
Yes.
Who does he work for?
West Metro.
Okay. So he's in the academy too now?
Mhm.
Okay. And he's a GBI agent?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now, he was one that riding with y'all, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He was in the back.
In the back. Okay.
Next to me.
All right.
On the passenger side back.
Okay. Just trying to get all this down. Have so many statements. I'm trying to, see who is riding with who and who is driving and that type of stuff. Okay. So we're at the brewery, and you just laid out where everybody was sitting and go from there.
Okay. From there, I know that when I say Q, I'm referring to Rooks. We all call him Q.
Okay.
I know that Jason had bought Q, or I don't know who paid for it. Those who had drinks or shots. And I think Q thought it was Jack, but they were drinking, but it was some other kind of bourbon because he swallowed it, but then spit it back out in his cup. And everyone was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. I know that, I believe that was before we had called my boyfriend. Q and I have always been cool. I met him when we all got hired. We've had, conversations about our significant others. I started dating my boyfriend right as soon as we started working for GBI. And we had called Hunter, and we were talking about all getting together one weekend to meet each other because we only live maybe a little over an hour from each other now. And then at that point, my friend, we were paying our tabs. I don't know what time this is. And then my coworker, Adam Blaine, from West Metro, the LaGrange TFA, bought me a shot of Jack, which I took. And then I don't know what time we left the brewery. I remember riding home with Jason Cole, and I remember when we got to the brewery, I said, "Hey, my keys are in your truck. I'm leaving my keys in your truck." When we rode back, and I remember singing to the radio, that's where I kind of began to get fuzzy. 'Cause I don't really remember like saying bye to everyone, and I don't remember arriving back at campus. I don't know why I would have gotten into another vehicle when we were already at campus. And then
Let me stop you there
Okay.
for a second. Okay, when you said fuzzy, I know, you don't want to talk about this, maybe. I got you to be clear. Somebody that's a GBI agent that is so drunk that they can't remember getting back into a parking lot and this and that or whatever, it raises red flags in my mind. I've been doing this 39 years.
I understand that.
Okay? So be as clear as you can with this, okay? The fuzziness, forgetting, don't remember this. Please be as clear as you can with this, because I don't want it to get any worse than what it is. And like I said, I've been doing this for a while.
I understand.
Okay?
I'm not trying to be ugly, but all my statements I said I don't remember because I do not.
Okay, go ahead.
Back to campus.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what time, how long. I do remember like someone knocking on the door, or not door, the window. And I don't know, only reason I know who it was because I recognized Charlie's voice. Charlie's in our class. He has a very distinct voice, and Charlie and I talk all the time. I don't recall getting back to my room. When I get back to my room, and this is where I'm getting confused because I don't remember details, but now my roommate has been telling me stuff. I remember getting back to my room and being upset and crying. And then Karen had told me, the next morning, we went over it, and she said that I was crying, like sobbing, very upset and emotional. And she said what happened, and that I made the comment, I'm tired of men taking advantage of me. And then she said it took a while for me to get more detail. I kept shaking my head. And she's like, tell me what happened, who was it, what happened, and all I said was Q. At that point, she was holding me, and then I don't remember how Eric White came into our room. I know Eric White was there because he was sitting like this close. At some point, James came into our room, the president, and I think that is when Carla was called. I remember James asking me if I was okay, and I nodded my head or said yes or something. At that point, so before the two guys had come into the room, I asked Karen to call Hunter because I was upset and embarrassed. I figured he might be mad at me. I don't know. She called Hunter and told him that Q got handsy with me. And then at that point, I called Hunter back and talked to him. And then that's when everyone kind of started showing up. I laid down at some point. I was awakened around 2 to Karen walking in, followed by Carla.
Okay, let's go back for a second. You said you told that you was embarrassed. What were you embarrassed about?
Well, I knew something had happened. I wouldn't have been that upset if something didn't happen.
That doesn't make sense, man. I mean, if you don't know what happened, how can you be embarrassed? That statement doesn't make sense, what you're saying, and that you was upset, that you was embarrassed, but that doesn't make sense. I mean, what were you embarrassed about?
No woman wants to admit that she was just taken advantage of or used or whatever.
Okay, but what happened?
I don't recall what happened. And even when I asked Q yesterday what happened because I didn't remember, and when I gave my statement to Bill and Carla, whenever Carla came and got me, I said something had to have happened because I was so upset.
Okay.
And this is where I feel weird because I talked to Carlos yesterday. I don't want to say I don't know, and I don't want to say he did this because I'm not sure, and I don't want him to get in trouble because I'm not 100% sure. He told later yesterday when I asked him, he told me what happened. So I know something happened because Q confirmed it.
Okay, so you're saying that night you was embarrassed because you thought that something had happened and something had to have happened for you to be crying.
I don't know if I used the word embarrassed. I was upset.
Okay. according to several statements, that you were crying at the bar, I believe, or somewhere at that brewery, after you was talking to Hunter.
And later in my statement, after I talked to Rooks,
Mm-hmm.
Rooks told me, you were really upset. That is how I got into Rooks' vehicle. He said that I was in his vehicle and that he was trying to comfort me, make me feel better, and that we had talked to Hunter a couple of times, or tried calling Hunter a couple of times on the phone, which we did. I looked on my phone and I asked my boyfriend Hunter, which he confirmed that.
Okay. So you said that you knew that, what's his name, knocked on the window.
Charlie Johnston.
Yeah, Charlie Johnston knocked on the window and knew it was him.
Then, can I backtrack real quick
Yeah.
too? When I was talking to Karen, my roommate, Karen said that I said that Charlie stopped her. He saved me. So that's also why I believe something happened.
Charlie said that to you?
No, I said that to Karen.
Okay.
Karen's
Okay.
my roommate.
Okay. So are you saying that you think?
Well, now I know something happened because Q told me.
Okay.
At this point, I'm not quite sure. I feel like something happened, and even in my statement to Bill and Carla, I said, I feel like something happened because I wouldn't be of this set, but I'm not positive what happened.
Okay.
And when I was talking to Carla yesterday, she told me that I made the statement that I saw Q's penis, which I do not recall.
Okay. So you don't recall seeing his penis?
No, sir.
Okay. But you told someone that you did that night?
Carla and Bill.
Okay.
Well, Carla reminded me I said that. And that's when we were talking about, this is serious, and I said, I'm nervous going forward because if you were to put me on a stand, I couldn't be like 100% yes, I know this has happened, because I don't know this happened. But what I've been told, obviously something has happened. And I'm upset because Q and I are friends, and he knows that I was drunk. If it was unwarranted, I'm drunk. Still not necessarily right. And when I talked to him, he's like, I didn't know you were drunk. He's like, I didn't know you were that blacked out. You were talking. I'm like, I understand that. I know. I understand. It's like, I feel like it's very difficult because I don't recall. I only know certain things because of what people have told me. I'm not trying to sit here and get anyone in trouble. I'm just trying to be honest with what I remember.
Well, why would you tell them that night that you saw his penis? You told Colin Bill you saw his penis, and
It must have happened. I mean, also, you have to remember it was 2 a.m., still under the influence, hadn't really slept at all. I understand why they took my statement, but I also feel like they probably could let me sleep a little bit longer.
this is a serious allegation.
And I understand that, and that's what I had talked to Carla about, and I said, I'm uncomfortable and I'm scared because I'm not trying to ruin anyone's career, my career. I don't necessarily 100% without a doubt know this happened. But that also makes, like, if what he said happened, well, how do I know something else didn't happen?
What did Q tell you he did to you?
That he had oral sex with me, and that's when Charlie knocked on the window.
So he said that you took your pants off. Do you remember that?
He told me that.
Do you remember that?
I do not remember that.
So so what do you think about it now? After you told you what happened, what do you think?
I think yesterday I was kind of like, what the hell's going on? And I still kind of feel like that. I'm upset because Q and I are such good friends. He would know if I was sober, and I'm sure if he was sober, that wouldn't have happened. The only thing I can say is we both were drunk. It was, first of all, not professional. Shouldn't have happened. We talked yesterday. It wasn't like it was awkward. It was both of us were like, what the hell's going on? He said that.
You think he did anything wrong?
I don't think so. And Carla asked me, she's like, do you feel like physically hurt? And I said no.
So with you being drunk, do you think he took advantage of you?
I don't think he took advantage of me. I'm just upset that stuff happened because I was drunk. And probably because he was drunk. I understand him saying I was trying to comfort you and make you feel better because Q was very lovey-dovey like that.
Do you remember when y'all was at Jonah's, the conversation turned to sex?
I didn't even know we went to Jonah's, the pizza place.
Oh, no. The brewery.
Fox's.
Yeah, some people call it Jonah's. Some people call it the brewery place. I'm reading all these different statements. But the second place y'all went to.
The brewery.
Okay, the brewery.
I was never at, I don't think any of us were ever at Jonah's.
Okay.
Unless they went afterwards.
Somebody put Jonah's in there. But do you remember there, I think it was Justin that maybe bought, ordered some pie with ice cream on it, and you ate some of it and gave Q some?
I remember eating some of it.
Okay. You don't remember feeding any to Q?
I know Q had some, I don't.
Okay. Do you remember talking about sex with the guys there, about your relationship with your boyfriend?
I vaguely do, yes.
Okay. Is this normal for you to get this intoxicated?
No.
Not to remember?
It's not, and it was definitely more, I drank more than I usually do. Because that was 4 cocktails and a shot in a matter of 3 hours, 4 hours, however late we were out. I do black out easily, that's why I don't typically drink a whole lot.
Megan, this is not the type of behavior we expect our agents.
I understand that.
I mean, we are a professional agency, and we can't have agents out here getting that drunk and intoxicated in public, and they don't remember what they've done.
I understand that.
It's very, big lapse in judgment on all of y'all part. First of all, you probably shouldn't have government cars at bars, and these people should not be driving government cars and drinking. But now, you can't remember anything that happened, and this is a serious allegation because careers is on the line, and this is borderline, criminal.
I understand that. And that, like I told y'all, I told Carla, this scares me and this makes me nervous because I can't sit here and say without a doubt this is what happened because I'm not sure.
I'm probably, after I interview everybody, I might have to come back and, interview you again. But, there's 12 statements here that I got to cipher through. I'm just trying to do this as quick as possible and, get to the bottom of this. But we got to sort all this out. In the meantime, do not discuss this with anyone. Okay? I told Carla to tell the class, and I'm sure everybody in class, know a little something about this. I know everything about it. Nobody down there can talk about it. If somebody from class try to call you, it's okay for them to call you, but do not talk about this investigation. Okay? Anything you want to say, Chandra?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
When you stated about blacking out, how long have you known that you have blackouts when you're drinking?
It's happened sporadically since I started drinking, but it's only when it's when I drink a lot. I typically do not drink this much. Usually when we all go out, I'm the one who drives.
What prompted you to continue to drink in this scenario versus knowing what your limitations are from the perspective of blacking out and saying, okay, I'm not going to drink anymore? Because you said you had 3 on your receipt. Was that at the Mexican restaurant?
No, that was at the brewery. And I have
that
one
was at the brewery, but you said you also had one at the Mexican restaurant.
Yes,
so that would have been 4, and then Adam bought you one. So that was 5 drinks. Is the 3 including the margarita or not including the margarita?
Not including the margarita.
Okay, so the margarita would make
I
5.5 or so, even if tasting and getting that alcohol in your system.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever think I need to stop drinking so much?
I think it was just we're just having a good time. I felt. I've never not felt safe around these people. I've never.
Okay. What were you upset with Hunter about? Because it seems.
I don't quite remember.
Because that conversation started at the restaurant with the group, so you're being upset after the incident. is one thing, but you were also upset
Right.
before the incident as well.
That is what I didn't know until Q told me.
What did when you talked to him at least 2 times?
Hunter? Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Did you ask him what you all talked about?
I talked to him this morning. I asked him. He said that he said something that I said. I know we were asking Q like how to make our sex, but not Q and I, Hunter and I. And he was just kind of giving me some pointers, blah, blah, blah. And I believe that's what Hunter got pissed about.
So Hunter was upset about the conversation you all had, but then you and Q subsequently called him back.
Yes.
And
Because now I'm upset because Hunter's upset.
But they had a conversation even though Hunter was upset.
Q and Hunter had a
A
conversation?
subsequent second conversation.
I believe we called Hunter in Q's car.
But you knew, I guess that goes to, he was upset from the first conversation, but you all proceeded to call him again.
Well, I didn't know he was upset. I don't recall calling Hunter after our first phone call.
Okay, but he did confirm there was a second, but
Yes.
you didn't know he was upset when you all called the second time.
I didn't know he was upset until yesterday morning when I talked to him on the phone when I woke up. And that's when he said I was crying and not making any sense.
Which time? The second time when you called from the vehicle? When did Hunter say you were crying and not making any sense?
When Q and I called him, the
Okay.
second time.
So you were crying prior to going back to the dorm room.
But that is.
No, I'm just trying to get a timeline of events.
I'm trying, because I rode back to campus with Jason
Yeah,
Cole.
I understand that, but you were saying that you were crying when you called Hunter, and he called to calm you down. I mean, Q was calming you down, but you were upset and crying at that moment as well.
Right.
Okay.
And that's apparently why I was in the car with Q. We were talking about it. This is what Q told me.
And I believe one of the young ladies, Karen or somebody, said y'all called Hunter
We did.
when you was in the room.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
I have another question.
Okay.
I had called Hunter all throughout. My call log is just all Hunter and I playing phone tag and calling each other back and forth.
Did one of the young ladies, one of your classmates or coworkers, tell Hunter that Q had got hands free?
Karen.
Karen did.
That's my roommate.
Okay.
Do you know what his response, do you remember what his response was to that, or have you subsequently talked to him?
He said that he was just like, what? And then Karen told me this and Hunter this, that he just thanked Karen for telling him. And then she hung up, and then I called him back a few minutes later. And then I remember I was still getting upset with him because he told me that he told me that I said, I feel like you're not being supportive and that you're being cold towards me right now.
That's what Hunter is saying you said to him?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone else, to your knowledge, participate in the conversation about sex in the restaurant? Because you said Q was giving you pointers. Do you know if anyone else participated?
I don't think, because I remember just mostly at the brewery, like Q and I had just a lot of like side conversation because he was sitting next to me. I don't recall. I don't know.
Adam, was he drinking?
Mm-hmm.
Was he there with other people?
Yes, ma'am.
That were not a part of the basics, but they
Right.
were at the table?
They were at our table. They had their own table.
Were they drinking?
Yes.
They had alcohol. The only person that didn't drink was the one that you rode with.
I don't know if the other two men was Adam did, because I wasn't paying them attention because I didn't know them. And I can't for sure say 100%, but I would assume just because, yeah, and Adam drinks and then he bought me a shot, so. But I can't say, yes, I know he was drinking because I wasn't really paying attention like that.
Yes, you know. Adam was drinking, or the others?
Adam.
You don't know if Adam was.
Right. And like I said, he probably was just because I know Adam, but I can't say, yes, he was drinking.
Is he a task force agent or is he a GBI agent?
And task force, LaGrange PD.
What's his last name?
Lane,
BLI.
BLANE.
Task force. Do you think Megan, do you think you would have, I think I might ask you this, do you think you would have done something against your will?
I don't think so. Q's is not that kind of person.
He said y'all talked about it before,
And that's what
and he said you agreed.
yeah, that's what he told me. And that's what I was kind of like, when he told me what happened, I was like, really? And he said, we talked about it. I thought we were straight. And I'm like, I don't remember.
So what do you think about it now?
I think it's just a hot mess. I think if Q's saying it happened, then it happened. I don't know why. I don't know if I was so upset because Hunter and I were arguing, or I was so upset because this happened.
What I'm getting at, I'm trying to see what your frame of mind is now, since you're sober and
Right.
you know what happened. What is your frame of mind? What do you think should happen? What do you think if something went wrong? Was it wrong? I'm trying to see what you're
Right.
thinking now, since you're not drunk.
I believe that if Q thought it was consensual, it was consensual. We've never had sexual acts between each other before. My only thing is that if he knew I was drunk, regardless, a little drunk or blackout, then it shouldn't have happened at all. It shouldn't have been talked about, and that's not just on him. This is also on me. I'm an adult.
But if you have two drunk people,
And that's what I told Carla.
can either one, he seems to remember more, I'm assuming, but I guess
If he's drunk, he probably doesn't realize how drunk I am.
yes, but also you have an extra piece with not only being drunk but blacking out. So it's.
And I think that's why I'm not pissed, because I was blackout. I don't recall, and how would he know if I'm blackout?
What does your boyfriend think? Like, have you told him everything that happened? Does he know?
I haven't told him Q's on, having oral sex with me.
Because you remember I guess the conversation about you all getting together because you only live an hour apart with the significant others, but then apparently a part of that same conversation was the conversation about sex, pointers about sex, because Hunter knew about that and was upset about that.
Yes, ma'am.
When you all called him, but that.
I don't know if that was the same phone call. It may have been. I'm not sure.
But originally, when I started asking the question, he said you all talked about. He was upset when I asked you what was Hunter upset about, because if you talked about getting the significant others together, you called him back prior to the incident. He was upset. He was trying to calm you down. He would have had to have known what the conversation was about.
Yes, ma'am.
To be upset.
Yes, ma'am. And that's when I don't know if that comment was made in our first phone call to Hunter, because you can look at my phone. There's several phone calls, so I don't know what information, what words were spoken on what phone call.
Back on you, Megan. The director will be back in town on this weekend, and we got to make a decision quickly what's going to happen, because y'all are in the academy.
Yes, sir.
We got to make a decision quickly. The investigation, I'm trying to expedite it as soon as I can. I'm planning on going down Monday or Tuesday and interview everybody else that was involved in this.
I have one more question. Do you feel as though you were sexually
The only I don't think it's how I feel is that I'm upset that it happened, because I was drunk, and like we talked about, Q must not have known how drunk I was, and that's not on him. I'm more pissed at myself and upset, and I don't think this would have been brought about if I wasn't so upset and my roommate being like, what the hell is going on? And then obviously telling Bill and Carla what I saw, what I felt, that 2 a.m. in the morning.
Didn't you have any statement about some medication?
I am on medication.
Do you know if you should be drinking while you're on
No.
it? Have you paid attention to the
So I just started.
Materials that come with them about whether or not you should drink alcohol, and is it something that could affect your judgment? But like a narcotic perspective,
Right.
so it's twofold as far as the
So
effects of alcohol with taking the medicine, but also if the medicine is something that we need to know about from an agency perspective in doing your duties as a special agent.
When I was in basic mandate, I was prescribed trazodone because I couldn't sleep. And then right now I'm not sleeping very well because Karen, my roommate, snores really loud. She has a CPAP machine, but she doesn't use it correctly. And the instructors have known this since week 2, and I brought it up to them, like, I'm not sleeping, I'm doing XYZ. I did start taking the trazodone a Monday night.
Is it like a narcotic, not a narcotic?
I
is it just
don't.
like a downer?
Can I Google it? I know it's supposed to help you sleep. It's like it's a mental health medication. I'm not taking it for mental health needs. I'm taking it to help sleep. And I mean, I took it all through probably the last 2 months of basic mandate. But I mean, I never have had.
Was she your roommate at basic mandate?
No, she's a DOC special agent.
She's a DOC. Okay, so at basic mandate, you say you started taking it there, so your sleeping problems didn't just start here.
Right.
Wait, what was the issue when you were in basic mandate?
I think it was just our mandate class was very tough, and it was, I don't want to speak poorly of the mandate instructors, but they kind of just look for you to fail, and like that stress is just very.
Did you have a roommate?
Yeah, Stephanie Graham, and Stephanie was aware of my issues the whole time too. I tried every kind of over-the-counter sleep medication before I even called my doctor.
All right, anything else you want to say, Megan, if I turn the tape recorder off?
I just feel like this is a big mix-up, and that I was upset. I still don't necessarily know exactly what happened.
So now you know what happened. What do you think should happen?
I don't want anyone to get in trouble. I'm just upset that it happened, period. I feel embarrassed as a GBI agent that it got out of hand and it led to this, because that's not my character at all. My pride is hurt. I feel really bad waking Carla in the middle of the night, like and having to come to campus. And even when I spoke to Q, it wasn't a hateful conversation. I was like, I need to know what happened because I don't know what happened. And that's when I think he realized, oh, she doesn't know what happened. And he apologized, and I was like, okay, and when they told us that we were going on administrative leave, we both were really upset. And I'm like, this is crazy, this is happening.
You stated that he told you, but then as you were summarizing, you said you don't know what happened. Do you not fully believe him? Or do you not believe him at all? Or?
No, I believe him.
Do you think it?
But
do you think that's all, what he told you is the whole story, or not the whole story?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, well, how do you feel like your gut? You said you don't know what happened, but even though he told you.
I think it's the truth, and if anything further would happen, I think I would have felt it.
Do you think he would have told you?
I think if you told me what happened, he would have told me everything. Because I feel like that's very honest of him to be like, this is what happened.
Okay. Time now is 4:52 p.m. I'm going to turn the tape recorder.